todos, bem-vindo de volta ao canal.
Esta semana tivemos o Dia de Portugal. Por isso vamos celebrar tudo e que amamos de vida aqui.
So, how was your man day last week? And please do not leave me on my own again. For those who watched the video last week, I had to do it all by myself. And yes, he did tell me off straight away for using the iPhone and not the proper camera. Although you didn't notice the sound, did you?
No. It was all
so
good.
I got away with that one.
It was all good.
Anyway, how was your man day?
It was very good. So I went up to Porto on the Saturday evening, I think, as I said, and then the next day we had. It's with Royal Enfield. They do these tours a few times a year, and there's about 40 of us on bikes, which was pretty good with pillions as well. So about 50 in total.
Wow.
And we all head out together, and we had no idea where we were going. So we didn't know until we got there, and basically it was a motor museum, or a moto museum, I should say, which is not open to the public. It used to be a few years ago, but now it is special guests only. So we got to see a collection of 1,800 or over 1,800 motorcycles, basically, all adorned around this massive, great big room.
And you sent me a picture, didn't you? And, oh, you wouldn't like this. And I said to you, I would absolutely love it.
It wasn't. The thing is, it was all about antiques, really. And it wasn't just motorcycles. They had UK telephone boxes. They had road signs.
Are they a private collector?
Yes, a private collector, yeah.
Right, so he just collects bikes and
yeah, he just loves it, yeah. And then, thanks, Lana.
Thank you. The dogs are agreeing.
But anyway, it was a fantastic trip out. We did obviously about over 100 kilometres, I think, in total, all riding, and then up to a high point, fairly, I say nearby, it's not. And then obviously I had the ride home afterwards. But overall,
do you get that real sense of camaraderie when you're like in a big convoy of bikes?
Do, yeah. When you're in a big convoy, you feel like I don't want to say this incorrectly, but it's like you're a unit, like a military unit also, and you're rolling through everywhere. So we get the outriders stop the traffic at roundabouts, and we all ride through, and so on and so forth. So it's a really nice feeling, and it's a real nice, gentle ride. There's no hard riding or anything. It's really enjoyable. And obviously we have a big lunch together as well, which normally lasts a couple of hours.
We're going to talk about that today,
yeah,
aren't we?
we will indeed, yeah.
And do you want me to come next time?
Absolutely. Not just me want you to come. A lot of the people that were there said, "Where is your wife?" And I said, "Don't worry, I'll bring her next time."
No, I would love to go.
So we will. But overall, it was an absolutely great day.
Yeah, it looked fantastic. Oh, and I must do a big shout out to one of our coaching clients, Marie. We've had a couple of calls with her, the most gorgeous lady. And she, as we speak, or as this video goes out, she will actually be in Portugal finding her home.
Fantastic.
She's coming over to look at some houses to buy. And so Marie, you probably won't watch this because you'll be way too busy with the wonderful world of estate agents and realtors here. But we wish you all the best of luck.
Indeed.
And we're so excited to see the next stage of your journey. So, Gaz, what is Dia de Portugal all about? I know it's celebrated on June 10th, which we've just had this week. And I need to look at my script for this because the official name is Dia de Portugal de Camões e das Comunidades Portuguesas.
Nicely done.
Nearly there.
I think so.
It's a bit of a mouthful, but you did a bit more research, right?
So it basically celebrates Luís de Camões, who was Portugal's national poet, and he died on this day, June the 10th, back in 1580. Now, he wrote a poem called Os Lusíadas. Okay, I have to say that right. Os Lusíadas. Okay, that is essentially like Homer's Iliad, which is like a massive poem. It is like the Portuguese version of that.
the
So
signifying
it's the number one.
poem.
It is the thing that sums up
Yeah.
Portugal. And so it's all about Portuguese discoveries and the age of exploration, basically. So that's really what it is.
Yeah.
So the actual day itself is kind of like it's a day of national pride. It's a source of national pride. So a little bit like in France, they've got Bastille Day.
Yeah.
You've got the 4th of July in the US.
Yeah.
And
what do we have in the UK that's Day of National Pride?
let's not even go there. But in Portugal, obviously, you have this day, Portugal Day. So what generally happens is they have an official kind of celebration, which is normally paired up these days with somewhere, maybe a Portuguese territory abroad, or perhaps somewhere that they want to celebrate with. So, like, I think it was 2022.
Like a twinning sort of thing?
Not sort of, but it's like, I think it was 2022, they did it with the UK. So there was somewhere, so it was in Lisbon and somewhere in the UK where they celebrated it. And I can't remember where it is this year, but it's somewhere, I think it's somewhere in Africa this year.
Ooh.
But it's essentially they celebrate it. So there's an official celebration.
Yeah.
In Portugal this year, it was down in the Algarve, is where they have the ceremony and like the pomp and circumstance around it.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, in the towns and the villages, they do their own things. Some of the bigger towns might have a celebration of it.
Yeah.
Essentially, what really happens, though, it is a bank holiday. It's a national holiday. So everyone gets the day off, and it is a time for families to get together, and a lot of them will go to the river beaches or to the Parque de Merendas and what have you, and have parties and whatnot.
Sorry, one of my Portuguese friends said, oh, we just all go to the beach with our families.
Yeah, so it's a nice time for everyone to get together. Yeah, so it's all about the Portuguese diaspora. So all the Portuguese all around the world, they get to celebrate Portugal from wherever they are and their roots, their Portuguese roots. So it's very much around that and about Portugal.
Yeah. And as immigrants, we feel deeply connected to this culture and deeply connected to the strong pride that the Portuguese have in their culture. So today's video is all about the things that we love and adore about Portuguese culture.
Before we start, I'm going to let you into a little secret. We're going to change the way we do things moving forward slightly. So we're going to do our long form videos that we've been doing about Portugal. We're going to do those probably every 2 weeks. And what we're going to do in the middle, we're going to do short form videos. So maybe a little bit about the life and how we're living in Portugal. But we reserve the right, if we want to do a long form, we're going to slap that in the middle. But we just want to make sure we get some really good quality content out there for you. So watch out for that. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell, because then when we do release a video, you're going to get notified about it. Okay, on with this week.
So let's start with this sort of concept itself, which is the Portuguese are proud of being Portuguese.
Very much.
And what's really interesting for me, because I'm of Irish descent, you know, St. Paddy's Day, you've only got to walk into any bar in Dublin, well, if you can get into one.
I actually think the whole world celebrates St.
Anywhere
Paddy's Day.
across the world. Everybody celebrates St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
But who celebrates St. George's Day?
Yeah, the English, it's almost, you're embarrassed to be English. And I think, you know, it comes with, and it goes back years as well, but it comes with the territory of you know, holiday makers abroad and behaviours and so on and so forth. Even myself, and I'm talking years and years and years ago, I was in Austria and I was attacked for being, physically attacked, for being English. That was it, just for being English, no other reason. So, yeah, it's a difficult one.
It is difficult. And obviously there is St. George's Day in the UK, but the government don't make that a national holiday. No. So here, you know, Dia de Portugal is a national holiday, so people get the day off. So no wonder people don't celebrate it, because it's not a national holiday. No. And I find that really strange how that pride has gone. And that's what I really admire about
Well, it is,
Portugal.
and it's interesting. We see it a lot in the comments that we get on the videos that we do, because we get a lot of comments from Portuguese people, and often a lot of them are that maybe they're based abroad, but their deep roots in Portugal, their pride of their Portuguese heritage is really, really apparent in what they say, and they literally say that as well. They are very proud, and quite rightly so. They should be proud. Yeah.
And it's a quiet, as you say, it's a quiet sort of pride. But we really love that, because we feel that, it's a real example of a connection to a country. And I don't think we ever had that connection really to the UK. So we kind of hang on to that kind of Portuguese pride. Nice. And it's one thing we really love about this country.
Yeah, we loved that the Portuguese really cherished that long lunch or the dinner, often with family or friends or colleagues. And it's what I had on Sunday, really, with the moto ride out, is 50 of us or whatever it was, sat down, and there's no rushing. It's like it's all about sitting there and enjoying it and taking your time. It's not about shoving it in your face and getting it done. So it was... it kind of opens your eyes a little bit, doesn't it, in terms of how beautiful the occasion can be.
Yeah. And I think, if you think back to the UK, I mean, like when you first come to Portugal, it's really strange how everything just shuts down for like 2 hours. It's like weird, right?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't get this. What is wrong with these people? Why are they not opening the shops at the times when we need stuff? But I now think back to my UK life. I used to go and grab a sandwich as fast as I could, peg it back to my desk, devour that sandwich as quickly as possible. And my God, if you actually took your hour lunch break, it was almost frowned upon. People look at you like, oh, you took your hour lunch break. And that is something that is really actually fundamentally wrong. And I wish I'd learnt this lesson a long time ago.
Yeah. I think Portugal kind of teaches you how to live your life in respect to that, doesn't it? I think food is something that we should use as a focal point for that as well, because it's a mindful experience. It's something that you savour and you enjoy, and you savour the Portuguese cuisine. It's an experience.
Yeah, and again at home, we would get home from work, make a dinner, and quite often either we sometimes would be sitting in front of the TV, stuffing it down, or we'd be on our phones or our iPads, or we'd be looking at emails from work.
Yeah,
that's not a way to savour really good food.
No. So I think we should celebrate the food. Some people criticise the Portuguese cuisine because it's quite simple, but it's its simplicity that I think is something which makes it about the occasion as well. And oftentimes that simplicity means that the food is beautifully delicious. I know that the simple ingredients can sometimes taste amazing.
Yeah, well, that is the art form that they have mastered. I absolutely love potatoes. It's, maybe it's the Irish in me, you always say that.
Yeah.
I absolutely love potatoes, but the way the Portuguese cook potatoes, salty, tasty.
It's the salt you love, isn't it?
Yeah,
Lots
I think
of
it's probably the salt. The perfect texture.
Yeah.
I just absolutely love that a simple ingredient like a potato can taste so good.
And it's interesting because a lot of people have a perception in Portugal that it's all rice and chips with everything, which
it kind of is.
Well, it is a lot.
No,
I would probably be happy with that, to be honest. But it's not rice and chips with everything. But it's not. There's. I think you've got to go on a bit of a journey, and we've got to go on a bit more of a journey with the Portuguese cuisine. We've got to try a lot of different things, and I think what we'll be doing is we'll be bringing you along with us on those journeys as well. So we try out a lot of the different cuisines from the different regions as well.
Yeah, so on to that rhythm of life, we'll call it. Nothing feels rushed. Well, I say nothing feels rushed apart from the drive-in. That definitely gets rushed. That's probably the only thing that gets rushed. But at first, that sort of rhythm frustrated the hell out of us, didn't it?
You've got to get used to it.
You've got to
tune in to it.
Yeah, you've got to tune into it. But once you tune into it, then I feel like you think, why wasn't I in this rhythm all my life?
Yeah, I think also it's not just the rhythm during the day, and it's the nighttime rhythm as well, which is obviously I don't think we're still not used to it yet.
Yeah,
so
we don't stay up that late.
Well, no, we're not late night people, and so we'll be getting ready for bed at 9, and quite often if we were out looking, you'd see there are families heading out with their kids for dinner at that time. So yeah, it's just something you've got to get used to, that rhythm, isn't it?
Yeah, and no one's stressed about it. It's loud, it's relaxed, it's social. If you go out to a cafe during the day, if you go to a restaurant in the evening, nobody's in a rush to get you out of there. Whereas in the UK, you could really feel like, the
pressure.
tapping and the
get them in, get your money, get them out.
The plates. They just let you be, and it's all about taking your time and eating as long as you want.
I do, and I think it helps you you breathe a bit easier knowing that you've got that space. It's not perfect, but the pace, it does give you room to actually enjoy what it is that you're doing, whether it's going for a meal or whatever. There isn't that rush culture, even on the small things, and there's still structure in the day. Cafes they open up early and people go out. They still work hard. They still do all the things they want to do.
They still work hard and late.
But beneath all that, there's kind of respect for that, taking your time and enjoying the moments.
So one thing we've really learnt here is how naturally frugal the Portuguese are. That doesn't mean they're tight or they don't spend money on things that aren't important to them. They are naturally resourceful, grounded, and they don't waste things. And one of the main things I found when we came from the UK, the first thing I sort of looked for is, where's the car boot sales? Where's all the stuff on Facebook Marketplace? And what you realise is that actually that throwaway culture does not exist here. People do not discard things once they stop being a trend, or you go to Target and you buy a load of junk for your house and chuck a load of stuff out. It is a completely different mindset to keeping things. So if you don't want something, maybe you give it to a neighbour, maybe you give it to someone in your village, maybe you give it to a family member. You just don't see loads of stuff everywhere, and that's really been an important lesson for us. And the same comes when fixing things. You'll see washing machines that have been, a part's been done with a zip tie, or resources are shared in communities. So people will share, streamers, and they'll share things amongst each other. So there's a real make, do and mend mentality. And so now when we go to chuck something out, I do think, what can I do with this? Can I fix it if it's broken? Because I'm really starting to respect that these things have some value. And it's the same with supermarket shopping. Portuguese tend to shop little and often, and they shop for just what they need. So whereas in the UK, we came from that culture of big weekly shop, and then you get it all home, stuff it in your fridge, and then you get to the next weekend and you chuck half that food out because you didn't know you had it in your fridge, or B, it's gone off. So the Portuguese, they shop frugally. They shop every few days. They only shop for what they need. They use their loyalty cards, they use their discounts, and they use them to buy things wisely. And as I say, that isn't tightness, it's just common sense. And then they spend their money with things that are really important to them. Because why wouldn't you do that? And also they use everything. So if you think about a chicken, Gary told a great story to me from last weekend where they served chicken stomachs as a starter in the restaurant that he went to. And he said they're absolutely delicious. So again, it's using all the parts of a chicken. And we've seen some really strange things going through the checkouts in the supermarkets. But It absolutely shows that you can save money and still have delicious food. So there's an awful lot to learn from that.
Festas and celebrations. Wow, where do we even start on this? I mean, I think we're still learning about this, but you have local ones. We're talking village festas. We're talking big city festas and festivals. One thing is clear is whatever is going on, and there are thousands of reasons to celebrate, and it could be religion, etc., religion or a saint's day or something. It could be anything that they'll celebrate. One thing is clear, they love to celebrate in Portugal. So we have seen local religious festivals in our village, which involves a band walking around, which is fantastic. But we come down to Mortágua each year for the Vivas Festival, which is a once a year occasion. They'll get some big singers coming in and doing some performances. Big event where people get together and eat together. It's fantastic. And then you also get the big city ones as well. So we've been to a place quite local to us, about 30 kilometres away, Águeda. They have a big festival each year, which is a carnival as well. Very reminiscent of what you might expect in like a Rio carnival or something like that. I mean, they are spectacular. But yes, what is clear is the one thing that the Portuguese love to do is they love to have these festivals and celebrations, fireworks displays, eating sardines, whatever it is. Mix the whole lot together, and it is about bringing people together to celebrate something. I mean, it is fantastic. But I'd like to know what you think.
So, you know, talking about simplicity, and the Portuguese have absolutely mastered the art of simplicity, particularly as we said earlier with food. So a good lunch might be grilled sardines, a lovely tomato salad and some bread. And that is simple, delicious and absolutely enjoyable. Oh, and don't forget the importance of pão, bread. Bread with everything, but it has to be good bread and it has to be really fresh. And I've literally seen toddlers at festivals crying because they've been sharing a family meal and the bread ran out.
Yeah, simplicity. One thing I do love is people just sitting outside and enjoying the view, the moment, whatever it is. You know, people have sofas on their verandas up high so they can watch the road and everything going past. But I love the guys, and this is a great example. I was in Porto at the weekend, as we've said, and I had to walk from the hotel I was at to the shopping centre. And on the way, there was just a house in the middle of the street. And outside the house, literally in the middle of the footpath, there were 3 people that had just got their plastic chairs, plonked them down. They've got a drink with them as well. And they are just watching the world go by. And that simplicity, that goes into other things. You know, people are happy to sit there with a plastic jug of wine, a paper tablecloth, whatever it is. It's the simplicity of it that is absolutely adorable.
So that simplicity in action, I remember talking to our architect, Tanya, and we were just chatting about what she was doing at the weekend. And she said, oh, I've got my daughter's birthday. She's 9 years old. And I said, oh, what are you doing for your birthday? And she said, well, we're just going to go to the local park and we're just going with family and we're going to have a barbecue. And I just thought, how different life is here, because I remember Gary's son on his 9th birthday. We had limousine. I can't remember where we went, but we went somewhere very, you know, expensive, and pizzas, and that's normal in the UK, you know, for 9-year-olds to have limousines and have parties arranged and all these really expensive things. And there lies the difference sometimes in the culture, is that the Portuguese, even the children, they celebrate and enjoy just being with their family.
I think even the homes reflect this. Not all homes. There are some very beautiful houses, etc. in Portugal. But a lot of homes reflect this, and that they are very simple. You know, it could be a table and 4 mismatched chairs just put together, thrown together, because it's not about what the home looks like. It's about a place where people can come together.
And finally, generosity and community. The generosity of the community here never ceases to kind of blow us away. Vegetable deliveries, we've talked about this before. Having community services, so people share their food here. You know, the lovely lady that lives next door to us, she distributes food all around this village. And then you've got all the community services that come, such as the bread lady and the meat guy and the fish guy. So even in these villages where there might be older people that can't get out as often to shop, they will have services for the community that come. The same with the old people that are a little more infirm. They have a community service that goes around and brings them lunch every day. And then there's the actual community hall itself. Lots of events going on, even in our little village. There's a dinner this weekend where you can go down, sit, have a lovely meal, have some wine with your neighbours. The sense of community here is something we really have missed and so embrace from coming from the UK. And as I say, generosity. The Portuguese people are some of the most generous people we've ever known. So finally, things that amuse us about Portuguese culture. Shall I start?
I think you should, yeah.
Their actual love of bureaucracy. I actually think secretly they love it.
Yeah. Maybe that translates into when they go out for a meal at lunchtime, because they also love talking at full volume. So you go into a cafe, they are always wedged full of people,
Yeah.
and it is always very, very loud.
Also, their love of broiled everything. Like literally everything and anything. If it's broiled, they love it.
And finally, one that I can almost associate with is an absolute love for Cristiano Ronaldo. Obviously, football comes hand in hand with that, but Cristiano Ronaldo, he's like a god here.
He is. And didn't he score the winning goal at the what was that final?
He didn't score the winning because it went to penalties, but they had that recent European, whatever it is,
Cup.
It's a new cup.
He's still playing football.
He's still playing football, and I think he's 94 now. I'm not sure. But anyway, no, he's 40. So he's 40. He's still playing, but he did score might have been the equaliser, or certainly he scored the second goal anyway. Yeah. And he probably went on to score a penalty. We couldn't get the match, so we couldn't see it. So
if only England had a player like that.
Yeah, if only. Okay, so that wraps it up for this week. Really nice conversation about Portugal and the things that we love about Portugal. We'd love to know what your thoughts are on Portugal as well. If you've been to Portugal, what is it that you love about Portugal? And acceptable answers also include holidays in the Algarve also. If not, what do you expect to love about Portugal? What draws you to it? Why do you want to come here? Or why do you want to come and live here? So we'd love to know your comments on that. As usual, please like and subscribe. It really helps us. Get that bell notification so you know when we release new stuff, as I said earlier in the video. But that is going to be it for this week. So thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next time, and ta-ra for now.